primed, checked for specification, inspected for breakage, and then of course will be reprocessed and reloaded. You'll also notice that there are many other different calibers sitting here in inventory. Nothing that you find in the way of brass is disposed of or thrown away. And remember, in the future, especially with barter, you may have that last case or that last 20 rounds of something that somebody else needs to keep a certain rifle or certain handgun functional. For that reason, well, trade's important. And to have the brass available in our inventory makes it a heck of a lot easier for you to find it when you need it. Now, of course, we're demonstrating also the idea that you keep inventoried your particular die sets. While you may not necessarily be shooting these particular sets, the objective is to have them on hand so that if you need to reload for somebody, you can. You'll notice also a quality difference in that these are 3-die carbide sets as opposed to conventional carbon steel. While these are good, these obviously are much better. A little more expensive, but in the long run, they're worth the money because of proficiency in reloading and durability. If you're doing a lot of reloading, carbide dies would be your better choice. Now, there's of course a lot of other solutions, but as you're seeing here, storage is important. You can maintain and save original factory containers, or you can purchase again volume containers for different types of devices, or different types of devices for the different steps in the reloading process. Now, very quickly here, you'll notice a number of books that are on the shelf, and again, nothing in the reloading field is obsolete. There is a reason for maintaining the older information. In some cases, specific cartridges may have been deleted from inventories or may no longer be produced, and there may be a need for that particular loading data. A good example is the Spear Reloading Manual, number 8. Well, that obviously implies that there were 7 others before this particular text, and each one may have information on new powders or old powders that you may acquire in different quantities through your rummaging around in yard sales, or by acquiring other loaders' inventories and resources. This will also, of course, provide you with mutual data that in the future you may be able to cross-reference to come up with new specifications for more sophisticated cartridges or specific loads for certain needs. Again, you have to use your creative mind. And the idea is to have a flow process set up here whereby, for your own reasons, you have good control over your inventory, you maintain quality control, and of course the keyword safety is also incorporated here. Flame doesn't quite, shall we say, connect well with gunpowder. So for those of you who are smokers, a good reminder should be to keep the butts outside the loading room. More than one of you can attest to the experience of watching somebody bend over a loading pot full of powder once too often with that little extended ash for the last time. For that reason, again, good quality control and also safety measures with regard to fire. Be a good idea that with a loading site like this, you also have a fire extinguisher on hand. For obvious reasons, these sites may be attached to the house, or it could be in a separate site. But the idea is also to maintain control and safety so that we don't lose inventory. Remember that everything you've seen here is a machine. This is precision technology. Even the cheapest and most portable of equipment here is far superior to most everything that was available to our founding fathers over 200 plus years ago. This is, for all practical purposes, a light factory. Also maintain good environmental control, obviously. You're dealing with metals and also the possibility of oxidation. And quality control, again, is determined by keeping everything where it should be. A place for everything and everything in its place, as we say. We're going to let our master loader take over for a bit and demonstrate this particular multi-station press, give you an idea of exactly what's involved. It's not that complicated, and again, we recommend that all of you, no matter who is involved with reloading, immerse yourself in the technology. There's a tremendous amount of written information available, and one of the things is that no matter what rifle or handgun you have, that you have reloading capability for virtually every standard cartridge that you're going to be using. Don't rely on factories. They can be shut down with the flick of a switch or the drop of a bomb, as we've seen throughout history. Well, without further ado, I'm going to let our gentleman here deal with the reloading process and show you just how easy it is and how you too can become one of the Patriot factories across the nation.
Okay, as he has said, this is the Dillon Precision Press. The first step in any press is the brass. When you have your brass cleaned up, get it ready. Normally, this is virgin brass. Normally would have a primer in this spot. You would put it in the first slot in this press, and most any of them. You'd go up into the die and down. Okay, that would size the die. Inside the die is a neck sizer, and on the outside sizes the outside of the case. What it does, it pushes the old primer out, it sizes the inside of the neck, pushes that outward, and then squeezes the outside of the case back in. With this case, you have to go past center, a little bit of force, and that seats the new primer. Okay, the reason I like the Dillon press is that it's a multifunctional press. When I get done showing you the different steps, after that, every single time I pull the handle, I'm going to have a completed bullet coming out. Instead of having to do one single step, all of them, the second step, all of them. I'll show you that on another press. So I just turn it this time. I put a new bullet casing in. This one switches this spot. I pull the handle. Back down, over center, seats my first one. Now I've put the powder in. Now this press is set up with an automatic powder feed. It very precisely measures the amount of powder that is going to be put in that bullet. It's done using a mechanism like this. This is the mechanism inside here. You can see that the powder can be adjusted in and out. As this arm moves in and out, the powder is adjusted. You use your scales that you saw before to make sure that you have your proper amount of powder. Okay, you turn it again, add another casing. This time you put the bullet on the top. You hold the bullet till it starts to go in the die, all the way to the bottom, all the way back down, over center. Okay, your bullet has been placed in the cartridge. Some cartridges, they also at the same time, they have